talk about it.
All right, now we're
Better to
live.
get the argument on the air. I see. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
well, it's not an argument. Welcome to DDOCaSplat. We a static group
We're
that
in the
plays
middle of
on
an
Khyber.
argument, by the way.
What?
We're in the middle of an argument, by the way.
Maybe. We were discussing hardcore. Season 2 is coming apparently, or season 3 is apparently coming next Wednesday. Hey, look, they gave us a week's notice this time instead of a day. So yay for that. And anyways, Arcot was saying why he might actually want to play it this time around.
Yeah, and it's because the rewards that sound much cooler than the other ones, even though they're probably about the kind of the same. But I don't know what's the mount. What does the helmet look like? What's the cloak look like?
Yeah.
I don't know. That could be. It sounds cool. But the other thing is the fact that you can earn some extra lives, and you don't start off with 3 lives. You just have to earn them as you go. So, I mean, if you die at first level, then you got to start all over again.
Sounds like it's going to be at level 8 and 16 you get another life.
Well, there you go. So a ton of people die, in the stupid traps and and low levels. So it isn't going to be the picnic that I think a lot of people think it's going to be. Oh, we're in?
Yep. Well, it's funny because Jerry was talking about extra lives and stuff, and coming from the guy who I don't think he's got to hit a character that's made it past 10 yet.
He's one of many who have struggled.
Yes.
I mean, I don't think it's going to invalidate it or anything like that. It's going to make it easier for sure, though.
I was kind of wondering if that new rule was for his specifically made for him.
That's exactly what I thought of when he said it.
You scale the walls and slip through a window.
We're doing Slavers, by the way, everybody.
Slave Lords Part 2.
Of armor can be heard from down the hallway.
I mean,
Slavers,
people have been asking for more lives for a while, though. Like that's not the button I wanted. Like I'm not. I mean, since day one, it's been something that they've gotten feedback on. And in fact, when they, because I didn't ask the devs, we talked about hardcore, not the last one, but one a little while back.
The outer courtyard
and I remember Torque was saying that when they were talking with the Players Council about it, there was very much hey, would people be interested in this? And like, oh yeah, that'd be great. 1 life. And the devs actually came back from, oh, you only want 1 life. You sure? Like, yeah, 1 life. A lot of people giving feedback were in the 1 life camp. So I think it was actually more of a surprise for the devs that people only wanted 1 life than the other way around.
Obviously, nobody has played hardcore before.
Well, no, it means different things to different people, right?
Oh, this new one that's this supposed hardcore season 3?
Lightcore?
It's not hardcore. It is not hard. It's lightcore or softcore. I mean, it's definitely not hard.
Hey now, watch it there. Now we're getting into movie ratings.
Why did your mind go there?
To be fair, the filters go there. You can't even put hardcore in the forum filter in the forums.
Right.
Yeah, I know. That's so dumb.
Yeah, well.
You can't even use the name of some of the quests, like or the spells, like hurl through hell. The hell word gets filtered. It's ridiculous.
It's funny.
Run them back here if you missed it.
Hey, there's a trap there.
See that?
It's okay, we're not going that way. Sure as a pull the lever for us.
Nope, I got it.
No, the rewards for season 3, as far as I've seen, look to be exactly the same as season 2, just different skins. So we'll see.
Skins, that's like playing dress up for boys.
They're called action figures.
They'll always be dollies to me.
That's why I said it.
My husband has
Parade
several
grounds
dollies.
stand as the last
So do
staging
I.
grounds before troops enter
I'll be the first to say.
stockade buffer.
So do I.
I don't think I have any left. I think all my GI
What,
Joes are long
dollies?
gone. Action figures.
The
Whatever
I
you
had sold a
want.
lot. I sold a
way
lot
to
of mine
small
years
inner
ago.
courtyard.
I have a big giant Galactus figure.
Ooh, I got a big giant tick figure, and mine talks too. In fact, it was purchased for me by a friend for when I transferred to the design department at TSR. It sat in my cube.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
a
claim
friend.
the spoils of victory. Then
Mhm.
let's move on. There
Yep,
are
my old
more
boss.
heads to bash.
Does
I
anybody
can
need the
feel
5
it.
rings?
Is it?
Yeah.
Are they Reaper?
Well, no, I would have kept them if they were a Reaper.
The inner keep houses the remainder of the troops and serves to protect the entrance to the dungeon below.
Dish out pain, not receive it.
So it sounds like AMC is planning on being open mid-July. Bring on the movies.
we talked about this before. What are they going to run?
Well, Tenant got moved back a week, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think all those ones got moved
Well,
back beyond that.
Mulan
that-
is the week before
Oh,
Tenet.
that's right. That was the other. That was the other one I was trying. What? There's a third one that they keep talking about.
Black
What is
Widow.
That's
No,
probably
that's
till
like
November.
way down the line.
I don't know, Mulan actually
Pulling
looked
the
pretty
lever
good. I'm
unlocks a
kind of
door
interested to
nearby.
see that one.
Ooh, a little bit of weird lag there.
I am not normally one to get lost, but I always get turned around in that room.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the whole idea.
This is the best part of this whole chain, right
The
here.
door
Oh.
closer inspection. This
I'll wait
bear
here.
is stuffed
Uh-oh.
and mounted on a track.
Ooh.
But you pull the lever. There's a soft pop, and an enchanted crystal lights up.
I just love that it's not a bear roaring. It's just a DM saying roar.
Yeah.
The second lever is pulled. A rush of
Because
air
that's
can be
how it
felt
would
as the
happen
doors down
if
the
you were
hallway
playing
open.
it
Yeah,
at the table.
I get it. Well, I don't know. If it was me, I'd put a little bit more behind the roar.
I'd actually
Yeah.
make it sound like a bear.
Yeah, but back in the day, you didn't have Sirenscape and all that good stuff.
Siren, what now?
I mean, I don't use that today. Like that is something that I would do. I would just put a little bit something behind the roar.
This
It wouldn't just be
mirror is
this
used to
roar.
make
Remnant back here.
trespassers
Sure.
There are more defenders
Like
than there
roar.
are.
You know,
A couple of
two of them.
remnants. Yep.
The lever is pulled, and a crystal lights up nearby.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, I have to change equipment and stuff.
You didn't mean to damage me. We'll just pick ourselves up and move on.
Oh, look what you found.
Got them lined up for you guys.
The sound of a gate grinding open can be heard in the distance. Then come frenzied
Hey,
shouts
Beaker,
that
did I
grow
send you
closer
the
with every
a belt
second.
or a ring or something?
You did.
Okay.
I hope you didn't want it back.
No.
Okay.
Slave cages line the walls.
If I send it to you,
I can't use it yet,
Scroll
but
Sure.
cage can be seen on the far end of the room. The moment you enter, slaves plead to be released from
Fear Reaper.
captivity.
So Arcot, what are you gonna play on hardcore?
Key marked
I have no idea. I haven't thought that
drops
far
from the
yet.
jailer's
far ahead yet.
I tell you what, I'm not gonna play a
Trapper?
Celestial Warlock.
That was a buzzkill, wasn't it?
Oh
the
my
rum
god,
trap's
I was
back
been
here.
so disappointed.
Yeah. For those who don't know what we're talking about, there was apparently a mix-up with the release notes, and the Celestial Warlock Pact is reflex save, not fortitude save, which is what the
Will
release
save.
notes said. Will save?
Will save. Yeah, it was originally supposed to be a will save. Well, okay. Actually, so Linnabelle didn't realize that the saves were supposed to be, well, in the past they were the same. So in the great old ones, your save bonus as you went up at like 4th, 4th, 8th,
Yeah.
12th, 16th, those were bonuses to will saves, but they're also their pack damage was
Right.
also will saves. So when the release notes were printed, she was only thinking of the bonus to, you know, to whatever saves, and what do you call it? The Celestial Pact was, you know, plus whatever, you know, 1 to your will save every 4 levels. What she didn't include was the fact that but their pack damage save is different, which is unprecedented.
I thought he said afterwards that it was a reflex bonus.
Well, it's
I
a
have to look
reflex
at-
bonus. Well,
No, sorry. The bonus to saves you got was actually reflex, but I'll have to-
Nope, it's will, and so the other pact that's like that it has a, you know, I think it's
Well, it
God.
would, if they're different, it's the only pack that would be different.
nope, that's incorrect.
Oh.
There's one of the other pacts is also not is not consistent.
Oh.
Yeah. So and here's my thinking is that they were supposed to be, you know, either the pact, you know, either what do you call it, was supposed to get, the Celestial Pact was supposed to get reflex, the plus to reflex saves, and the pact damage was reflex saves, and the other one was supposed to be also be like I don't know, it's a fort save and a pluses to fort save. I forget what's there's the undead one. And what's the other one?
Carcery.
The Carcery Pact. Yeah, I think maybe, you know, it might be the Carcery Pact is the right. No, it's not. The Carcery Pact damage is what do you call it? Is a will save, and the plus to bonus and the plus to will saves is reflex. The only one that's consistent is the
Abyssal.
is the Abyssal Pact.
There's a loud click, and two
So
doors
you know,
swing open.
I would prefer that the
Sound of
Celestial
chatter
Pact
can
be a
heard
will
from
save,
deeper within the fortress.
and then make the Carcery Pact the fort save so that they're consistent. But I would understand if they made them consistent the other way. So by that I mean they leave the Celestial Pact, the save versus their pack damage, the reflex save, but they should make it consistent and make the plus to will saves also reflex saves. That way it's consistent with the first 3 packs that were released. My OCD right there talking.
This large dining hall serves as a gathering place.
I was
for
trying to
the
look
fort's
up the
troops. Ikar, the commander of the fort,
what he said
stands ready
originally.
to make a final stand.
Yeah, go look at the classes in the what do you call it, the wiki, and look at Warlock, and there's a table, and it shows you.
Well, so this is what I was remembering. Linnable said the save type for Celestial Pact has always been reflex, and they've gotten a reflex saving throw bonus since the pact was created.
Yeah, but if you go ahead and read if you actually read the comments from all the players, they point out that that's not actually that's not really true.
Okay.
As Ikar falls,
Oh, maybe they'll change
the
it.
door opens
Interesting.
to reveal a passageway leading deeper into the fortress.
Very interesting.
You collect our riches. I'll
I mean, I wasn't gonna play a Celestial Warlock anyways, but
the next fight.
Well, I was gonna convert my my Sonic and my Fey Pact guy to a Celestial Pact, but not now. I'm probably gonna convert him to a Goo, a great old one, and that's a bummer because I really wanted to play one of the new packs.
A glance at the room
the
reveals a
carcery one
passageway
would be
leading down
has
to
a
the
pretty good
dungeon
level
below.
15 ability.
No doubt
Yeah, it does,
Marquesa
but
and
the
rest of
but
her
the cold
conspirators can be
cold
found
damage
below.
is I'll just put it nicely, is suboptimal.
That's I mean, when in a game
This
where
hallway
you have a
serves
bunch
as the
of
entrance
raid
to the
bosses that are immune to
fortress's
cold, yeah.
dungeon.
Yeah,
The
and
castle
not
must be
only that,
somewhere
but
inside.
sorcerers do cold damage way better. I mean, way better because
I
they've
mean,
got
they do
that,
fire damage way better
caps-
too.
Well, sure, but but they have that. But the thing about them is they have that capstone ability of making things vulnerable to cold. Like if you're a cold sork, you can make things vulnerable to cold. And the warlocks can't do that. So I mean, why on
Right.
earth would you play a suboptimal
An
element
invisible force pulls
that
the
at least
metallic
another
object you're
class can
wearing
actually
upwards
do
towards the ceiling.
and make it
Removing
useful?
large metal objects might spare you from the effect.
Crap! I gotta take off my armor.
It seems to be your metal armor that's being pulled towards the ceiling.
I mean, my
Perhaps if you remove
kind of
it,
counterpoint to that
Box out here.
would be that
Yeah, well, everybody's down now, so.
my counterpoint to that would be that what you're saying is absolutely true, but it's also true for all the other elements. It's not like they don't have the same problem with the fire or Sonic or. I mean, negative,
Well,
and, negative and light are generally. Why did that hit me from back here?
Well, but see, if the Celestial Pact were lightning damage, there are way few monsters that are vulnerable or rather immune to lightning. So
Sure.
lightning. So,
That's true.
So at least that makes it playable, which is the only reason why I'm now even considering the Goo now, because acid is another one of those elements that not as many monsters have immunities to.
Okay. Yeah.
Remnant back here.
About the only thing I've, having done several lives on a Fiend Warlock, about the only thing I really have a problem with in that regards is Iron Golems. Kind of the bane of my existence.
Yeah.
I thought flames
Yeah.
were the bane of your existence.
I mean, I don't like those
That's a
either,
bad-
but I can still damage them.
Yeah.
Like
right.
the damage from my normal Eldritch Blasting is damaging them. The Eldritch Blasting that I have doesn't really do much to Iron Golems in the first place, and then add on the fact that you're healing them with fire damage, and it kind of makes them impervious to just about everything I can do to them, other than hurl them.
Plague Reaper.
Why can't he spawn before I cast the Mass Hold? Butthead. I'm a little surprised from Season 2 and Season 1 to a lesser extent, because it was before some changes, but that we didn't see more kind of like what you've got right there, Arcad, a paladin, sword and board, or even two-handed fighters. Saw a couple barbarians, but it didn't really seem to be that popular of a build.
What was the big popular build on last
season?
This torture
Yeah.
chamber.
You like asking me anecdotally, or like what?
Well,
I'm not sure.
I remember seeing something like who was number one on who finished in first place on
Reaper,
one of the boards.
Reaper or
guess.
Favor.
Burst of moist air enfolds you
I don't know, but
This
The
hallway
Reaper
connects with
board,
natural
the
cavern
top end of the
that leads
Reaper
deeper into
people
the subterranean
tended to
complex.
be ranged, and I think a lot of mostly zombie ranged.
okay, zombie thrower types.
Well, Zuki was the top, and he was zombie inquisitive.
Okay.
But I think there was a fair amount of zombie rangy types up there. I'd say that they all were, but that seemed to be a pretty popular concept.
I'm gonna make a prediction here that there won't be nearly as many zombies at the top this time.
That's probably a good prediction. They're definitely less viable and or optimal, as you put it, in terms of ranged. But that's not necessarily a good cross section of like what people were playing. I think there's just like
The door opens to reveal a large chasm.
I think those builds were
The glint
also kind of
two different
optimized
gems can be seen
for
down on the cavern floor.
What good am I
for doing
keeping
high
them back?
doing Reapers and Legendary. So the building is kind of an interesting thing with all those people in there. Oh my gosh, I am just completely stuck in these oozes. Got orange alert and a Reaper slowing me down, so I can't jump out of the middle of all the oozes.
Ooh, you're blocked, Achilles. I don't know where you are.
I'm at the other end of the room.
Heck is doing damage to me.
With the
I
door,
don't know,
Stuff
probably
above us.
ooze.
you may
Oh.
continue into
Too
the
No,
possible.
I'm above you. I'm actually up here.
I think if you want to look at like builds that are having the most success, and what you want to do, I think the first kind of problem to or question to that problem is, are you gonna have friends or not? Because I think anytime you can get like even just a second person and kind of static group it, I think you can really optimize and maximize your builds so you don't have to deal with as many problems. That makes
I
sense.
totally agree with that.
Yeah, that makes sense because you don't want to have. It's easier if you can focus your builds and to do doing something specific, and then let's say have the other person or
Right.
whatever be the healer or the trapper or what.
I mean, if
Yeah,
you could,
jack of all trades are sometimes not a particularly good idea.
well, I think the problems you have to kind of overcome in terms of building a good hardcore character are building a character that can overcome mistakes and bad luck, right? And a lot of the jack of trade type builds aren't very good at overcoming those because they have their defenses tend to be avoidance based.
Mm-hmm.
It tends to be more on the evasion dodge scale
Evasion,
as opposed to
yeah,
PRR
dodge.
MRR.
Yeah,
At which point,
especially early, because that's when traps are most deadly. Is when he's early.
yeah.
Are you okay, guys? Are you guys okay down there?
Yeah, we finally finished killing all the oozes.
Oh, all
There were
right.
a lot of oozes. Someone went a little crazy with a crossbow, maybe.
I wonder who could that be?
No, I was purposely not shooting at oozes.
I'm leaning pretty hard toward not doing season 3. Well, I might kind of dabble in it with some quote off time. But I have an idea for a doing a artificer paladin tank build that can also do traps.
Sure.
I think that could be pretty strong.
There's a remnant back there.
There's another one a little farther forward of it.
Will it be a ranged artificer or a melee artificer?
I mean, generally sword and board. But I think
Murmuring
because
sound can be
the
heard
last
from
2
the
seasons
Oh, jeez.
I
Boulder
did
got me.
a bear tank, a bear barbarian build.
Right.
but the problem is that it doesn't have trap finding, so you can't see traps. And if you're tanking, that's kind of really helpful, because especially in the places where there's randomized traps, because you're generally in front. So I think that'll be kind of a really helpful thing. But also, bear tanks can't UMD very well. Like, you can't utilize scrolls and stuff.
Oh, in bear form, yeah.
Because you have to go out of bear form and then go back in bear form, and then you got to heal up. It's just a really kind of pain in the butt rigmarole. So So from a needing to, using scrolls and such really amplifies your ability to deal with different situations, the scrolls and wands. So being able to open that door up, I think will really help with the survivability. And I mocked it up on Lamania and actually got around the same amount of hit points and stuff. So
3 defensive positions inside this massive cavern.
Oh, good.
You need to destroy these strong points before you can continue.
Well, if you want to post your build somewhere, where if you don't want to say it out loud, I
don't mind.
Interested.
I don't mind saying it out loud. It's just.
So what's your level split then?
12 artificer, 6 paladin, and I haven't really decided what the last one would be. I'm leaning towards wizard for the you can
extra
get the
armor class.
Yeah, the extra armor class from mage armor and the Eldritch Knight tree thing. It also gives you so you don't have to UMD a bunch of stuff. The armor and armor penalty or spell failure is kind of a problem, but that would be true anyways, right? Like, it doesn't matter if you're doing it or not. You're still gonna have to deal with the armor check penalty or the spell failure. But I think a level of wizard splashes nicely in there for that reason. You could also, I suppose, go cleric or not cleric. You could probably actually, but sorcerer would kind of do the same thing except be charisma based. Although, kind of planning on it being intelligence based anyways because the artificer and being able to trap. So,
right.
I think you could also do something interesting with like a cleric paladin sorcerer splash, kind of a similar concept potentially. Trying to remember when, because clerics get a percent to hit bonus as well.
From divine might, you mean?
Not percent to hit, percent to health, to hit points.
Oh, okay.
I think that's a tier 4, so it'd be like level 12. But I think the artificer, kind of going heavy into Renegade Mastermaker, which gives you a lot of hit points, right? It gives you the constitution and stuff. And, I think the converter could actually also be kind of handy because you can then repair other people. Take the construct essence feats, and then also take what's it called, the aura, but for repairing.
Yeah, my dwarven artificer has that.
And I think I think that build would do really well in kind of elites because it's doing it has a lot of self healing, high armor class, high saves, high hit points, that kind of stuff. Reaper, I don't know how effective the aura repair auras would be though.
Fades when you pull this lever.
Not that much. It's really not a lot of healing. So if you're in Reaper, it's going to cut that to basically almost.
But on the flip side, it's essentially a free diehard feat.
Which is useful. I mean,
yeah.
Obviously, it would keep you from bleeding out. So anything to help, keep you from dying is just.
Yeah.
Welcome to DDO Crunchy Bits, everyone.
I just think if you could get a really good static group together, I kind of wonder how well you could do with building a Warforged party.
I think you could do it real well,
I think you
actually.
could too, yeah. It's one of those things that doesn't play super well with others, but you could have, an artificer tank and, a sorcerer becomes or a wizard becomes your healer.
That's what I did last season.
Well, but you kind of want to. What I'm proposing is getting multiple people together, right? And I'm not sure if that's what you had going.
Well,
If
I
you
would
want to
get-
do Reapers, then you have to account for the fact that you really need to help heal each other.
Well, when I didn't have anybody to run with, I would get the Warforged hirelings,
Oh, sure.
and that's all I ran with. And I got further that time than I did the last time, but that was more of a playing more deal.
Sure. I think if you're going that route, I'd say a Warforged Artificer build would probably do better than a Sorcerer build.
Plague Reaper.
I held it before you killed it.
And that was helpful.
Fear up here too. But that's kind of the gist of the build that I was thinking. Of course, Defender stands from Paladin, and then I think Knight of the Chalice adds a lot of pretty nice offensive power into that build as well. Although I'm not entirely sure how many action points you're going to have to really allow that to work. Because you're probably looking at spending 30 or so points in 30 to 40 points in Master Maker and another 20 or so in Defender.
Yeah, and you need to have some in the race tree to get. Well, I guess you don't have to have.
Depends on what you do.
community
I was
subscribe.
thinking. Well, I was thinking ASMR for healing hands, but
Right. Okay.
not a Warforged. Using the feats to get that.
Right.
They
The
give-
construct traits.
Yeah, because that gives you a lot of. I mean, at that point, you've got a couple lay on hands, which would be so-so. But they actually ramp up pretty well. And then the healing hands, and then being able to chuck potions for healing, and you can get a reconstruct SLA out of the Master Maker tree. And like I said, the converter too, so you can, especially if you're doing Reapers, right? Like tag the healer in the party with that, so you can repair them without penalty. So there's some things you can pull in, and I think it's a really versatile tank build, much more so than the bear. Also,
sure.
I played the bear 2 seasons, so I go again. I kind of want something different.
Well, somebody else talk.
Yeah, I'm still eating dinner.
For all you Star Trek fans out there, Pluto TV is running a marathon of assorted Star Trek from all the different Star Trek shows today for some anniversary. I think it's some anniversary for Next Generation. And they ran Star Trek Beyond last night for free.
Which one's that?
That's the third one with what's his name?
Chris Pine.
And Zachary Quinto. Yeah,
The new ones.
the JJ verse. Fuck.
Yeah.
Sorry. Forget them.
I like the last one. I didn't. The first one was okay.
The one with
second one I
Khan?
didn't- No, that one I didn't care for. That was
the second one, wasn't
That
it?
was the second one. The third one I
Yeah.
actually kind of liked.
The problem with the first one is it never really, like, the first 10 minutes of that movie are fantastic, and it never really lives up to that afterwards.
To find the real Marquesa.
I do like the cast they have for that one, though. We should go the other way. There's a chest this way.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think that's going to be the end of it, though.
Possibly.
Before you stands a powerful minotaur.
I mean,
ready to
you
I
gotta
mean,
give
I know
you gotta give
Simon-
hats
I know
off
Simon
to
Pegg
the
wants to do another one.
you gotta give hats off to the old Star Trek series, right? Like they kept their cast together remarkably well.
Sure.
The original series is only 3 seasons long. I mean, how?
Well, but also the movies.
Well, that's true.
I mean, because they started making the movies like in what, the
1980.
80s? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the series was late 60s. And they got everybody back. Like, that's impressive.
Marquess,
And then they
the
kept them
slave
because
lord, stands
kept them
before
going
you.
for a while, right?
They were marginally talented, so they were they needed the money.
I don't know about Nimoy.
Name another thing Nimoy was in besides Star Trek.
He was in a lot of old,
He directed 3 Men and a Baby.
yeah.
Nice little factoid for you.
He didn't do that.
Ow. Wasn't far enough away.
He was on Fringe, so to speak.
That's what I was trying to think of. Yep.
Fringe.
And
Okay.
Also, uh-oh.
He was in the third
Also
Transformers movie.
Futurama.
Oh,
With a
don't
voice.
even go there.
Yeah,
That was horrible.
that's fair.
He was ahead in
Marquessa is dead,
Futurama, I think.
and her followers
Yes, he
routed.
was.
Who
Now to serve
wasn't
the
ahead in
clues that might
Futurama?
lead to the slave lords marked on the map is a cave
Like
that
was
leads
a
to
pretty
the
common
Slaver's City.
pastime for
Surely
people. I
this
feel
must
like.
be the slave lord's main base.
Oh, there's something I've never pulled before: the legendary mutilator of minds.
Huh.
It was decent for a hot minute.
Huh.
Mythic 2.
Mythic 2, yeah.
I think it was one of the first places you could get a quality focus 2. Spell focus 2.
Okay, now you're getting into the crunchy stuff.
We're doing part 3?
Of course we are.
Okay.
You only died once. You should be feeling pretty
I
good.
did. I actually, yep. No, that's not it. It's just,
You enter the cave said to lead.
I
to
still
the
gotta
slave
go
lords.
dial into work and test
Near the
firewalls
entrance.
tonight. I know that sounds like a hell of a lot of fun.
You testing them on skeletons?
No, I'm testing what the consultants did today to make sure everything works. I understood what you said. It wasn't that funny.
So zombies.
What firewall? A Cisco ASA, or a Sonic wall, or a checkpoint?
So Cisco ASA, I would be embarrassed to
Logic
admit
tells you
that.
to find a man
Um,
named Auric.
No, we have,
Make your way through these
well, it
underground
depends.
passages.
Different
Then meet
locations. Oh,
Auric
Family Reaper coming
inside
up
the
behind you guys.
slaving City of Suderham.
Different locations have different brands of firewall. We're mostly Palo Alto. And then we're actually, one of our locations is getting a brand new FortiGate from a closed office. So that's another one we gotta worry about setting up. Oh, really? Thank you.
You're welcome.
The floor here is covered with coarse white granules, naturally occurring salt crystals from the cave walls. You stumble and slide down the sloping corridor,
So Patrick, what's the over and under on baseball happening this year?
Ooh.
I don't think it's going to happen.
I heard something today that it looks like things are starting to look up for some reason. I didn't read the story, but
As of yesterday, there was still no agreement,
Right.
and
Well,
that was the last I heard.
I think it's pretty likely that it happens. I think the
But I think it's
question mark
ridiculous
is
that they're asking for full salary for not even half a season.
they're not asking for a full salary for half a season.
That's
They
the last
are-
thing I heard.
No, that's incorrect.
Okay.
So what happened was, like, back in March, I think, players and owners came to an agreement of prorating salaries. So,
Okay.
Whatever their salary is, divide it by 162, and that's how many they get per game that actually gets played. And that was an agreement that already happened, right? It has been agreed upon. There's some ancillary stuff in there that is kind of question marky. Like, there's some, like, really... My understanding is there's some really vague language about, like, making sure the season's viable or something like that.
Sure.
But basically, they already have an agreement in place that says they've already agreed to the financials, which is kind of the big sticking point. There's some other things that would still have to be decided outside of that agreement, like the protocols and health checks and all that stuff. Although I don't think that's as big of a sticking point. But the roadblock right now is that the owners are asking the players to agree to only making like 70 to 80% of that prorated number. So instead of dividing their salary by 162 and then that being their salary per game, the owners are asking the players to then multiply
like
it.
200.
Well, I think the easier way of saying it, I think, would be to say that take that number, your salary divided by 162, and then multiply it by 0.8, right? And have that be your salary per game.
Right. That sounds kind of dumb.
The owners would tell you that, but I'm not saying that I'm on their side. The owners would say that the cost of running the league without fans is more than they can afford.
Oh, so
or
they're assuming
want to
that there would be
afford.
no fans there would be no fans in the stands to buy things like
Right. So
the concessions and
the owners
parking
are
and
saying that we're going to lose this much money, and we want the players to assume more of that responsibility. The players, I think, are generally saying we're not willing to do that because we don't you're asking us to accept the risks for the financial risk for these games, but you've been blocking us out of the financial benefits from games for a decade.
Right. So the players don't get a cut of the concessions.
Or the profits, more generally speaking. But yes, like that, the players are saying, well, if you're going to ask us to, you're asking us to accept more of the risk, but you're not giving us more of the benefits that would come from taking those risks.
Right.
And my understanding at this point is that the players have basically said, tell us where and when we're playing. Give us your plan. Like, we've already agreed, like, they're hardlining on we've already agreed to salaries. Let's go play. Which doesn't really solve all of their problems, but there's some players that are talking about, like, if there's not enough games, it's not worth it for them to play because they're, the cost to benefit ratio of them getting hurt for making that much money is pretty low. I don't know that that's going to be as big of a problem as it's kind of theorized to possibly be.
Nope.
Yeah, you jumped too early.
You can jump up right about where I'm at. Oh, it's been
where's
disabled anyways. You should be able to like grab the ledge here, I think. Yeah, there you go.
Sorry,
Okay.
I forgot there was a box for this one.
But the answer to your question is I do think there will be baseball because both sides agree that Major League Baseball can just say, all right, we're playing right now, or we start on this day. Here's the schedule, and if you don't show up, you don't get paid. Like everyone agrees on that. So
Ooh, leggy.
I think part of what's going on right now is the players are sort of bargaining for more information.
Oh, we're getting tacked on two fronts.
Oh, this
Yeah,
is
you
awesome.
shouldn't have gone down that way.
See how many of those guys I can dance. Like the owners, to my understanding, are like pretty like the numbers that they're saying don't make a lot of sense to the union. But the union can't get the information from the most part unless the owners actually give them the information. There's only I was reading that there's only one of the base of
This
the
appears to be a dead
teams
end. A rope
puts out
dangles
their
from the ceiling
financials.
at the end of the corridor.
It's because they're owned by a publicly traded company, so they have to. And I think the article that I was reading said something to the effect of the players basically don't believe the numbers that the owners are giving them, because if those numbers were true, that means that the Atlanta Braves are responsible for like 20 to 25% of the league's revenue by themselves. And I don't think anybody believes that.
So the owners of all the other teams are basically seriously underestimating or underreporting their revenue to the players.
Yeah. I think they said like like they gave out some number of profit or something, and but then you can look at the Atlanta Braves are reporting, and you do some simple math and you come up to like 20 to 25% of that revenue being the Braves alone. I don't know where all those numbers are coming from and what they mean, and I don't know that the people that are just doing that simple math are necessarily doing that math correctly either. But I don't know what the numbers are and what they represent. It's kind of similar to the article that you posted, and I like we don't need to hash it out or anything, but the article you posted about COVID numbers and having a 30%, taking a 30% number of that article said something to the effect of 30% of people aren't exhibiting symptoms. So from that number, we can then extrapolate that the fatality rate goes from this number to this number. It's kind of the same thing. Like, well, how are you? To me, it's the same thing. Like, how are you going from this number to that number with this third number? What's the relationship with those numbers? So, ESPN has a couple of articles that they put up in the last couple days on it that I was reading through. Is that a long enough answer to your question?
Who actually
sorry.
asked the question?
I think it was me.
It was. You asked what the odds of having a season.
Yeah.
I would put the
personally,
odds
I'm
at very
getting
high.
sick. I'm getting tired of watching golf. Turn on the TV and there's golf on. Oh boy.
Isn't there racing? NASCAR racing?
No, I'm not really into racing. My brother is. I'm.
Fair enough.
Oh, my mother's very happy. She loves NASCAR and golf.
Nice.
Did you see the concept one-person golf carts that are suddenly now like really popular?
No, but I did see this thing. Have you seen this? I forget what channel it's on. It's some weird streaming channel. It's like called Ultimate Mini Golf or something weird like that. Where
Oh, holy moly!
is that what it is?
There's
I
a
don't
show,
know.
Holy Moly. It's not streaming. It's on like ABC, I think. I haven't watched it, but I've seen the.
Yeah, there's another one though, and I
Oh.
forget what the deal is with it. I saw it on a
Monstrous
newsfeed
figures
today.
loom above you.
Kill the
but it's like
trash first.
Voice
So
cries,
like
it's kind of trailer trash
Knowles?
mini golf. Yeah.
kill the
Were they
Knowles
dressed up-
first.
Yeah.
the giant figures flicker
Sorry,
and
I was
vanish,
trying.
leaving behind a very ordinary looking wizard.
Hey, Saphira, can you nuke that
Yeah.
rust monster, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
Oh, and I got a remnant.
Nice.
Dish out pain, not receive it.
Yeah, there's this concept. Or it's not even a concept. Like they were marketing them before
The illusionist was
COVID-19 hit, and these like one-person golf carts, and they're essentially a motorcycle. But you put I think you put the bag like facing towards the front, the open part towards the front on the
Stairs
scooter,
at the end of the hallway
and then
Yeah,
it's just
I
like
hear
a
surface.
an electric bike, I think. But
Electric,
apparently
I have,
they're
seen, I have seen some electric
I'm gonna-
bikes out.
I'm
They
gonna go
seem
use
to
that
be
shrine.
getting popular.
The
I was down at the
slave
lakefront
lords
over the
use
weekend, and
Soderham as their
I saw two of
base and marketplace. An uneasy quiet hangs over the slaving city, and the streets are strangely empty.
city out there.
let's see if this works.
Yep, it is.
Okay, I'm out.
There you go. I dropped a picture of one of them, the single person golf cart. Kind of an interesting design.
Is it a tricycle?
No, it's a motorcycle. It kickstand and everything.
Well,
Well, aside from the fact that it's modeled like it looks like a motorcycle in the shape and stuff.
Yeah, don't forget to talk to this guy. I made that mistake once.
oh, we
I
talked to
think
him
Arcot
already.
already got him.
All right.
Yeah, I made that mistake too.
You make it once, but it's really annoying.
What's the quest? There's a no refunds. The first quest in Chain 2 of Sharn. I always forget to talk to the merchant guy at the beginning. I get to the end and I pick the thing up. It's like, wait, why isn't the quest completed? Oh, I didn't talk to the guy at the beginning again.
Correct, the dwarf. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Classic, I think is his name.
Dish out pain, not receive
Or is that the name of the guy who you're trying to find?
I don't remember.
Hey, Achilles, you ran up on those rats and they're coming
Yeah,
in.
now they're
Yeah,
gonna
no, sorry.
Yeah, I'll team up for you.
No harm, no foul.
Hey, Remnant.
come remnant out of it.
The sign of the rose is lavishly decorated, which is more that can be said for the rest of this town. A tall, striking woman beckons you to enter.
You collect our riches. I'll take a moment.
Madame Eva shows you the slave lord's secret entrance, a ladder leading down into the darkness. huge humanoid figure stands perfectly motionless in the gloom.
Figures.
One hand is raised, as if in warning.
Colder than things? Half damage.
Don't you have the thing where you can make them vulnerable, like anything vulnerable to whatever spell or whatever?
Yeah, I've been playing around with that. I don't have it at the moment.
What? That was like a core thing.
No, it's
It
actually
is.
not.
It's the 20th. Yeah, the 20th. You're talking about the thing in the Draconic, or
I'm talking about
there's
awaken
there's
elemental weakness or something. In the
Yeah,
sorcery
well,
trees.
there's that. There's also the what do you call it? The capstone in Swark. In the what do you call it? One of the Christ. Damn it! I just better shut up. It's not coming out.
Funny.
We've apparently used up all the crunchy bits we can today.
Well, no, hang on. So in Epic Destiny, there's a thing in Draconic that allows you to make things vulnerable for a short time.
Yep.
It's like a 15% chance.
Yep.
There's also a thing in Magister that does the same. That I think does the same thing. And then there's also a core, one of the sort cores, and I think that's in the one of the the elemental ones. God, the savants.
Yeah, I don't have enough fate points to get all those. I have one of them. This the mimic.
Correct.
I wasn't gonna say anything. I was gonna see if somebody opened it.
Oh please. Ooh, hello.
I'm still hoping
Take
for
that.
hardcore season 4 mimic takeover.
That would be funny. All underwater chests are mimics.
No, just make all chests have a 5% chance to be a mimic.
I'd raise that up higher.
You don't need to try that hard to kill people. They do it well enough on their own already.
Yeah, I wish they'd get that thing fixed where it says so and so was killed by himself or whatever.
Well,
Let's
sure.
be a little more.
Such was
specific.
killed by nothing.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
There's
Oh,
string,
hello.
I've heard that the string table error is from drowning. Like if you drown to death, it does a string table error. Or maybe it's loss of con, one of the two. I don't
Oh,
remember
hang
now.
on, hyena's behind you.
Well, when he stops hiding, I'll kill him. Turn him into a popsicle first.
All right, beware! I'm going to throw the crystal, so the beams will start. So
Go for
get
it.
out of the way.
Otzi's lined up. Go, 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 go.
Oh shit. well, actually, I got freaking hyenas all over me here. Here, now I'm out of the
I
way.
got one of them.
It's a chest right where I am.
You collect our riches. I'll take a moment to calm myself for the next fight.
All right, stop. Nobody move.
Ooze.
Do we have to collaborate and listen?
No.
No, he just doesn't want you to fall in the hole
Oh,
with
just go back.
You want to kill it?
No. What's the point?
It's gonna be dead before it gets there. No, maybe not.
Aha.
Best Disney monster ever.
Gelatinous cube.
From what movie is that?
Onward,
Spoilers.
Oh, okay.
which is basically a
There's another
D&D
one,
adventure.
Yeah, but that one can't drop a remnant. It's less interesting.
Onward is a movie about
A path
family
carved into the
encapsulated
clammy
in
stone
a
leads down to the shores of a
D&D
subterranean
adventure.
lake.
Yep.
which is pretty, it's kind of what Pixar's formula is, right? Like, we're gonna use this allegory to tell a story about a certain kind of relationship. I enjoyed it. It's not as good as, it's a really good movie. I think it's kind of middle of the road
really
for
liked
Pixar.
it.
You would. It's right up your alley.
It's right up. It's right in my wheelhouse.
But they play a lot with like expectations and what make a lot of fun of a D&D adventuring.
And I
It was
didn't
a lot
mind
of
that
fun.
one bit.
No, I think it poked a lot of fun at it in general.
Oh, I
Want
gotta
to
try.
let people try here? Yeah. And it's really a super minor spoiler that a gelatinous cube shows up, because if you're paying attention to how movies are made, like, you're expecting it to show up at some point.
Right, but they must have had to talk to somebody because they
Oh, it
can't
says it
call
in
it a gelatinous cube.
It says it in the credits.
Yeah. Oh no, I know.
Because there's a shout out to Watsy in the credits for letting him use Beholder and Gelatinous Cube. Although a Beholder does not show up, unfortunately. It's
Right.
more of a spoiler. They just talk about it at one point. That would have been cool too. Like, see a Beholder, but that easily would have killed them. I think you'd like it, Arcot.
You found the council chamber
maybe.
of the slave lords at last.
Slippery first.
Is in session.
Ooh, after
The
this
slave
trash and
lords
boss and stuff.
instantly spring to the
The
attack.
Fear Reaper in the middle.
These are clearly battle-hardened veterans, not pampered aristocrats.
Whoa.
So now we're on the main boss in the middle.
You cost our
He's gonna
Not
transfer.
snarls the slave
Ow.
lord. Now repay every copper with your blood.
All right, now we're on Slippery.
Slippery's the crossbow one.
It's also the one whose name
Yeah.
says Slippery over his head.
Ian Wolf has a different
Nice.
thought on that, but
Ooh. Showing.
All right, main
Somebody
guy
has a
again.
chance.
Oh no.
I think Ian
Two
Wolf
down.
finally got me.
Kill. Main boss again.
The slave lord mutters a spell. Hellhounds appear, belching forth fire
Oh,
and
hello.
brimstone.
That's not cool. Oh, you brat.
More glory we receive.
Kill.
Main guy. Ooh, look out.
The company you keep is not
Moving around.
staying alive.
All right, let's kill Eel Wolf. Ian Wolf, whatever his name is.
Thank you.
Oh, shoot.
Guessing Nero found you?
Yep.
Mhm.
Right in the back.
That is kind of his shtick.
Oh. Hiding behind the pillar there for a second.
He ports behind it.
Yeah. I am gonna put up. Where is it? Here we go. See him get through that.
He probably waltz right through it.
Probably.
Me, on the other hand, I gotta put freedom movement on.
You've destroyed the slave lords and dismantled their entire
Alright, nice job.
operation. People from the surrounding
That was fun.
lands will no longer live in fear of being torn from their homes and enslaved. Now return to Dame Gold and claim your reward. Now that she's finally convinced of your good intentions, Dame Gold gives you the Codex page. Keep this safe, Wanderer, she warns.
Nothing.
Great evil lies inside it.
Legendary breaker of bodies.
Yeah, I got the legendary breaker of bodies too. It's the first time I've ever gotten that one.
Did you not run this that much when it came out?
No, in fact, I only made my first slave lord's crafting item, probably about 5 or 6 weeks ago. So no.
I did a bunch on heroic, but never legendary.
Well, thanks for joining us for DDOCaSplat. We should be back next week for some more crazy fun and random discussions and all the stuff you're used to at this point. Don't forget to check out D&D Night on DDO Stream on Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on twitch.tv/DDO Stream. You can check out and play DDO yourself at DDO.com. Don't forget to use the coupon code DDO FreeQuest, or is it FreeQuest DDO?
DDO free quests.
There it is. To unlock all of the current adventure packs on your account. Even if you're VIP, use it. That is through August 31st, as well as the 99-point sale on Menace in the Underdark and Shadowfell Conspiracy. You can also check out twitch.tv/DDO Stream for a whole bunch of people streaming DDO as well. And there's a bunch of other folks out there as well. You can follow me at DDOCast on Twitter, and you can check us out at DDO.com for our news and discussion podcast that comes out usually every week. Thanks for watching.